Hey there, this is Rich, and you're watching part of the Gauntlet community. Live tabletop RPG plays. RPG stands for role playing games. And the Gauntlet is this worldwide community that's many hundreds strong of folks who like small press and independently produced RPGs as well as OSR games. And we are in some of the final playtests of a game that I've been working on called One Percenter Supers, inspired by Creepy Doll Studios' One Percenter, which is actually about bikers, like biker gangs. And although if you're creative, it could be about swoop bike gangs, but we're not here to talk about that. One Percenter Supers is a street level supers style game in the vein of the ill-fated Marvel Netflix series like Daredevil and Iron Fist and Jessica frickin' Jones, which is amazing, and we won't mention the other one. And also similar to Black Lightning, which I like quite a bit. If you haven't watched it, you should check it out. Everybody here has already created their characters, and I would love to take a moment to have them introduce their characters, and then we're going to go through a couple of other steps that are part of One Percenter. Patrick, I know that you've already given us an off air introduction, but since we're now official, could you please introduce us to your character?
Sure. I'm playing Karen Rook, she, her, whose super name is Chiron. She's a PI, public investigator here in New Gauntlet City. She grew up in one of the wealthiest families in the city, had no interest in anything girly or society related, but all the interest in everything sort of physical. And being very rich, had all of the best trainers and tutors and coaches and everything to come and train her. She did go to the Olympics at one point for gymnastics. She didn't actually medal, but she did break up an alien blood doping scandal there at the Olympics. She is incredibly gifted with anything that comes into her hands that's based on like aerodynamics or accuracy. And she has a particular maker, a super fabricator out there, a contact who provides her with some specialty arrows that aren't like over the top, but do add some variety to just poking people with very sharp sticks from far away. Um, she's also, like I said, a private investigator. She is licensed publicly in the city under both her real name and under Chiron. She's a public superhero. She doesn't have a dual identity. Although she does have a supering persona when she's out like dealing with things that are above and beyond your normal like marital strife PIing. Um, She's also, as mentioned, is an investigator, so is pretty good at figuring out normal things. She's very good with people, not so good in the supering world, just because she doesn't have actual powers, and being sort of a public figure, most people know that. So she has a hard time, say, intimidating supervillains in a fight, or talking to people down. But doing that in real life, she really connects with the neighborhood around her.
Questions. So the last name of Rook, is that her actual last name?
Yes, that
Or
is
okay,
that is her rich, fancy parents' name.
rich fancy parents last name. Okay. Okay. Cool. And then the Rook family, what did they get rich on?
Um, Something finance and multinational, and always on the sort of cutting edge of illegality.
Oh, so they maybe trade in futures like pork bellies and other things that are just like, how do you make money trading these
Yes,
things? I like it.
exactly. That's the exact details I was thinking of.
Love it. Love it. It's like
We both
the
understand economics.
we do. It like dates back to the old trading companies, triangle trades, and all that stuff. And somehow the Rooks
Yes.
have always been influencers, and I love it. I love it. Dirty old money, and they're still extremely wealthy. It's not like they're coasting and they
No,
still.
yeah, they're still very wealthy.
Okay, I like it. Very.
I got disowned with the whole supering thing. That's very gauche and very like embarrassing for them in important circles, and they don't really understand why I can't take up something serious and or at least marry someone serious.
Do you mind if Karen's mom's name is Poppy?
Love it.
Okay, Poppy Rook.
Poppy Rook. Oh, she's awful. I hate her. I love her.
Yep. Yep. I think she's pretty great. That's great. And then you say you have a contact, like a fixer who helps you out with trick arrows and the like. Is this person like a small time inventor, or are they a person who it's just the middleman for other folks?
I think they're like a small time gadgeteer, not someone that like wants to take up supering themselves, but someone who's sort of in the fringes of the world. I'm very much thinking of who is it from Daredevil? Is it Gladiator? Who makes his suit and everything?
Yeah, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's cool. That's cool. All right, small time gadgeteer. Cool. I dig that. Is there a reason why he doesn't, or she? Sorry. Is there a reason why that gadgeteer doesn't want to go out? Did they try once before and it didn't go well? Is it a thing where they just don't want to get out there? They're agoraphobic, or they got important people that could be let down if they're gone? What do you think?
I think it's a I think it's a she, and I think she's a single mom.
Parole?
No, I think she's a single mom who lost her husband when they tried like a teenage supering, like out on the street sort of career.
Oh wow, very Hawk and Dove. I love it.
Yeah, and so she's still got that part in her that believes in the work and believes in like the cause of going out and vigilante superheroing, but she's not going to risk any more of her family.
Sweet. So she carries the scars of those olden days. I love it. That is fantastic. Cool. Jason, if you could, my friend, could you introduce us to your character?
I am playing the Sugar Glider, or just Sugar Glider. Sugar Glider is in real life Wendell Williams, who is a costumer. He works with cosplayers who want to look like heroes and with wannabe heroes who want to look like heroes. He hasn't been a hero himself before for a couple reasons. One is he's actually pretty darn shy. He gets a little nervous. He's hoping the suit helps him get past that. But also his eyesight is pretty terrible. But his Sugar Glider outfit has these big lenses on it, which are actually remarkably close to the glasses he wears in real life. He's inspired by a character from the canon called the Savage Shrew. The Savage Shrew, if you haven't read the canon, was a little bit of a joke up until he leapt from a helicopter and knocked Dr. Cross off of the tallest building in the city, saving the city from Dr. Cross's various bombs, but also doing grievous bodily injury to himself. And he spent a couple of years in physical therapy afterwards. But as a result, everybody was inspired by him, and he became an advocate for things, and he talked about ability and disability. And he actually really inspires Sugar Glider. So even though Sugar Glider may not be the tallest or the strongest or the best or the most suited to being a hero, he's determined to be out there and to make a difference. And yeah, I think that's about him. He's got two powers. One of them is that he can surprise glide. He's a good costumer, and he's developed his costume so it's got this patagia on here that'll catch the air really effectively. And the other thing is just he's real earnest. He has a super heart stat. He believes in the team. He believes in heroism, and he is there for you.
So as a costumer, like that, this whole gig, what does he have, an Etsy store, or does he have an act? I mean, that's not. I'm not trying to be insulting. Like,
No,
does he
no.
like, I'm trying to figure out, how does he do that? Is he part of a flea market or
that is in
something?
fact that is his whole gig. He does some work at theaters, but the theater scene in Gauntlet City doesn't really have enough to employ him full time, so he picks on the odd job as that. He runs an Etsy store, but mostly what he does is he works the convention circuit, because there's a lot of people who are into paraphernalia, into looking like the heroes. He does a fair amount of work with people who want to be heroes, because it's not uncommon for people to come in and ask for a costume and then return it a week later. So he's seen people come and go, but you know, it's not enough to make a great living, but it's a living, and he enjoys it.
Nice. I'm really looking forward to our next step, because I want to see where he lives. But I'm not asking you that now, even though I'm tempted. This is great. I like it a lot. Yeah, I'm sure we'll find out more about Sugar as we go. Never getting tired of it. I love it. Alejandro, if you could please introduce us to your character.
Yes, I am playing the Cowl, whose the name he goes by is Pritus Papillon, but people call him Pap or Paps. He's the owner of the Hardhold, a dive bar music venue in the seediest part of town, where I think he owns the building and kind of rents apartments above. Yeah. I'm going to read the bio that I wrote, just because it covers almost everything. Pap is a reformed hungry ghost, a minor demon in the Mahayana Buddhist pantheon. He opened up a bar / music venue in the seedy part of town, where he still enjoys watching people overindulge in their vices. Sometimes he books punk bands and country music performers on the same night, just so he can watch and participate in the brawls that inevitably break out. He begrudgingly took on the role of the Cowl, a vigilante defender of his often ignored and maligned low-life patrons, the homeless, drug addicts, prostitutes, and weirdos. So his disguise is somewhat of a human with tattoos all over his face and body, just like prison tattoos all over him, so they like look like. And then he has these two major like scars on the back, because that's where his wings were ripped off of, because he's a demon, an ex-demon. But what he really looks like is that the other image which is an image of Sauron from the movies, or the mouth of Sauron from the movies, which is just this really heinous mouth with nothing else is shown. So when he's in his superhero costume, he looks like just this really heinous mouth, with like this metal trapping over his face, where it looks like he can't see through it, but he can. And then it's just like black robes all the way down, and he's just really terrifying. His superpowers are super movement, so he can like zip through like 3-dimensional areas. That is to say, like up walls and along ceilings and stuff like that, like really, really fast and really, really scary and creepily, almost animal-like. But he can't fly because he lost his wings. But at one time he could fly. If he ever earns his wings back, listen for that bell. And then he has the mental ability, which is twofold. The first thing is he can cast cantrips, like minor little like illusions and tricks, and like turning the light switch on from across the room, which doesn't really have that much of an effect. But his major ability is he can create hallucinations and illusions based on the recipient's fears and traumas. So he can tap into the psyche of whoever he's targeting and have them see like their mother yelling at them when they were 5 years old or something like that, or whatever. And he can make it be an illusion or like only that they can see, or something that the rest of the people can see. So that's the cowl.
That's terrifying. It's like he would be the foe that some vigilantes might face, but he's on your team, guys. Good job. This is great. Awesome. Thank you. Agatha, if you could, please tell us about your character.
Okay. Sasha Ivankov, according to Google, in terms of how to pronounce that name, is he's born to first generation immigrants from Russia, and so I feel like his superpowers were discovered in his early teens, which has unfortunately informed his and his friends' definition of him. So it's like I feel like it was definitely like when he was a teenager, his friends are like, fuck, Sasha's so fucking bomb. Like he can just like go and punch shit or whatever. And then Sasha's like, oh, I guess that is me. Like I can. And I feel like the fist was actually like his nickname from high school that kind of carried through with him. And it's just like, like when people are like, oh, there's a fight. And then he always gets texts like, come through, Sasha. And he's like, okay. And and it's one of those things where it's like when your friends are all like, yeah, this is who you are, then you're like, I guess I can't say that I'm not that. And I feel like he's still very close with his friends from high school, and a lot of them have dropped out, and he has not because he I don't know, I think it's like a part of it is that his parents are like pretty serious about him like trying to make it living that American dream. So he basically worked as a bouncer to put himself through community college, which has netted him the illustrious white collar job of a mailroom clerk. So he still works as a bouncer. And I think the way, like how he dresses on a day-to-day basis is he always wears a black dress shirt, black dress pants, and it's always pressed. And he wears black dress shoes. So he actually kind of looks like he works like front of house or as a bouncer to like high-end clubs. But this is just, he always wears that, and he has like one of those chains. I don't think he's a bouncer at the Hardhold. I think he could. He works as a bouncer at a lot of like places that pay more than the Hardhold. I don't know but he might, like, if we're on the same team now, like he might do that as a favor because he also believes in favors. So that's Sasha. Sasha is a kind of like I think there's a very specific impression that everyone has of him. And he kind of doesn't know how to not be that person. But he's in his heart, he's a pretty awkward guy. And when he is like doing vigilante fighting, he wears what is it called? You know that ski thing that like bank robbers wear?
Balaclava?
Yeah, balaclava. Yeah, that's what he wears. And then with his like normal black dress shirt and dress pants. So
that's great.
That's his vibe.
Get in trouble. That is good. I like it. Good. Thank you guys so much for sharing with us your characters. So this is a playtest. I'd like to kind of step through the process of who are the people in your neighborhood. First, I'm going to share with you guys a link to a Google drawing And then I'm going to screen share just so we can all kind of look at it and have it on record. So we start with a neighborhood in New Gauntlet City. At this point, we don't know which neighborhood it is. There are some neighborhoods, as you can see the map of New Gauntlet City. There's some that are named, but we, of course, can create our own neighborhood. But we'll worry about a little bit more of the macro of that neighborhood, like fitting it into one of these parts of New Gauntlet City once we go through this process. So in the neighborhood creation process, if you were at a table, you pull out a big sheet of paper or include with the game is a neighborhood map sheet. And the GM starts off by drawing a big line along the middle, and that's Main Street. I have already done that. So we are going to start. Agatha, you get to go first. Now I'm going to transition to use character names now. So the Fist, you get to go first. And so what you need to do for the first time is draw a new line on the map that intersects at least one of the existing lines and add a name for the new street. That is the line where you live. You can live on Main Street and you're just drawing the cross street, or you're drawing a new street near Main Street in this neighborhood, and that's where you'll live. Cool?
Okay, I got a question.
Yeah.
Already. So how does this factor into the map that you have?
Imagine that, like, if you were to choose 14, then we're just going to draw like 7 or 8 streets, and those 7 or 8 streets would be in 14 somewhere.
Okay, because I was going to choose 27 specifically, but I don't know if I see that you wanted to do it a different way, and now I'm just like, how do I conceptualize this map?
You can still totally do that. So what we're drawing exists within that square of 27. We're not going to map out all of 27. Let's just imagine that, like, this is the Google view, and then if you were to like spin your little, mouse wheel, then we'd get closer, and then all of a sudden we'd see this. Is that cool?
Copy that. Yeah.
All right,
okay.
awesome.
All right, I'll draw a line.
All right, so you can draw lines, arrows, elbow connectors, curves, all that kind of good stuff.
I don't know how to do stuff like that.
Oh, okay. You can rotate it around like that, and you can move it however you want. Get lots of options. If you want to adjust it, you need to select. Otherwise, you'll just keep drawing new lines.
Right. That is what I ended up doing. Yeah, this is fine.
Okay, cool. And it just like T intersections with Main Street. Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Can I name it, or
you are naming it? What do you want to name it?
I want to. It's called Woodrow Park.
Okay, cool. So Woodrow Park has been created, and I'll just adjust that line. And of course, this would be way easier on regular paper, right? But all right, awesome. So do you live down at the corner? Are you down the way on Woodrow Park? Where are you imagining that
I think
lives?
I think Main Street. I feel like this is a street that is full of apartments that were all built in like the 70s, and that this is basically where all the new immigrants always come through.
Oh, love it. I love it.
So I feel like I just live somewhere on there, but it doesn't make a huge difference.
You live in an apartment down on Woodrow Park. Awesome. Alejandro, you get to... so you need to make a new line, and that will be a new street, and find where your character lives.
Okay. I want it to go straighter.
Oh, yeah, the curved line is kind of squirrely.
Like I want it to go from left to right, straighter, and then kind of do like this sharp curve down.
Okay. Well, I will do my best. Sharp curve down, might need to make that point.
Maybe you need to draw 2 lines then.
Yeah, or maybe. Yeah, maybe you need to draw 2 lines. Try 2 lines. I don't know how to make it do what you want to do like that,
Okay.
but I don't think that's what you want.
Yeah.
Sorry. Limitations.
You know what?
I'm sure there are
Jesus.
better tools. This is just what I thought might work.
Jesus. This is
Buy better.
this is really
Okay.
obnoxious. This is like really obnoxious and simultaneously awesome. How's that? That's not exactly what I wanted, but it's what I wanted enough.
Okay. Now I'll try to find a different like whiteboard.
No. It's great. It's great. I'm bitching. I do that sometimes. I've been known to bitch.
And you're welcome to. I'm it's my first time, so
Okay, wait. I'm trying to. How do I put a text? Like that?
did you can click on this little text box thing and then you can just lay in there, start I didn't do that right, but you click on text box, you can just start typing words and it'll pop in the text box.
All right.
I think you create a
So-
square. It'll go the thing with a T in the middle.
Yeah. All right. So,
I just found a website called Web Whiteboard, which is like way easier to use. Should have Googled.
that's the dumbest name, but it's what it's called now.
That's great. So, where does the cowl live?
I think that it is like on the intersection of Woodrow Park and Wilson Straight Lane. Well, I don't know how seedy of a part. How seedy is Woodrow Park? Is it seedy or is it just kind of overlooked? Because if it's not very seedy, then I'm going to put it on the other end of Wilson Straight Lane.
Yeah, it's not super seedy.
Yeah.
It's definitely very low income, but it's not seedy.
Yeah. So let's put it on the. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say, in spite of the design of these brutalist style architecture, there's still a very strong sense of community in these
Yeah.
buildings.
Okay. Then let's put it on the other end of town, and
Is that cool? Like I just made a little boxy type dealy.
yeah. I'm going to move it a little bit more. And so this is more like a little bit more industrial and seedy and like literal like trash on the streets type thing.
And what is the cowl? Is the cowl in like a warehouse? Is the cowl in an apartment? Is the cowl?
Where does he live? I say, I think he lives at the Hardhold. I think that below it's a bar and above it's apartments.
Oh, so did you just place? Is this the Hardhold?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. Awesome. All right. So we now know where the Hardhold is, and it is off the beaten path. I like that. I misspelled Hardhold because I'm a genius. And by a genius, I mean not. All right. Awesome. Next, we have Sugar Glider. Draw us a street and then put where you live. And by the way, the fist, if you could like put a little box in just so I can kind of space-wise have an idea where you on Woodrow Park is the apartment that
Okay.
Fist lives in, that'd be awesome. But for now, Sugar Glider, give us a street.
So, I have a question for Alejandro / the cow, because I have a vague notion that since you own the building, that I rent an apartment that's actually above the club, and like just constantly there's funk music up there, and I don't fit the profile of the neighborhood at all. Sweet. So I'm going to have a street that intersects down near the Hardhold. And we'll say, what kind of street do we want? You know what? Let's draw a straight shot. Boom. So that we can easily get over to there.
I love it. We are the best street planners ever.
Hey, where'd that go? Don't do that. All right, and
Oh, sorry. I was trying to move my apartment.
you're not allowed to move. It's too late.
Signed a lease. Sorry. Oh my god, I read that as quesadilla.
No.
I love the little comic book reference. Thank you very much. That's excellent.
That's what I'm here for.
Miss Rook, give us a street. Oh, and yeah, so you're in Hearthold, so you don't need to draw a new place. Awesome.
I mean, what could perfect this amazing city planning?
It just doesn't get any better. I know what you're saying.
What? Stop popping up things.
You having trouble? I can help.
Yep.
Oh, there we go. Look at that. You're
Seems
obviously some like
suitably insane.
Yeah, I love it. It's still fun though. Octavia Drive. Well, look at you going with like 3D objects. Nice. Taking it next level.
But yeah, I think she sort of lives here in towards the center of the neighborhood.
So you're not far from Main Street. You're near the happening stuff.
Yeah, and I think she lives in like a equivalent of like a brownstone, and it's her apartment and her PI office are all sort of the same thing and interwoven.
Nice. I think that we are seeing a merging of Kate Bishop and Jessica Jones, and I cannot be happier.
Yeah, that's sort of where it's going to.
It's good. Just be shameless, and I adore it. It's good.
That's right. It's my 6th tool that lets me do 3D objects.
All right, cool. So, good. All right, so then we'll stick with you. You get to do back-to-back stuff. You're fancy, Kyron. And with our next thing that we do, we're halfway done already. Good job. So you've defined where you live. Once homes are defined, go around a second time. Each player draws in one of the following neighborhood attractions. So I will pull up just a reminder, the quote-unquote neighborhood attractions and let you see it on screen. I'll read it, but it's where most folks work, like a factory, a string of shops, somewhere outside. Well, you can't draw outside the neighborhood. A notable resident, like maybe where they live or where they're normally found. A local faction of some kind, and you would draw where their hangout is. A landmark or defining place, like a park, a square, train station, or a gathering hangout, a well-known bar, coffee shop, or restaurant. So Kyron, you get to pick where that's at. You can either put it on one of the existing streets or draw a new street and stick it there. And feel free to poll the audience if you need help.
Sorry, it doesn't help to ask for help when I'm muted. What page is the neighborhood stuff on? I'm sorry, I can't find those things.
No problem. It is well, there's two easy ways to get there. You can either go to page 8, or if you look on the character keeper, it's on the Team Gen tab.
Gotcha.
Right there.
Yeah, I'm not really sure.
Okay. Do you want to pass for now, and we're gonna circle back to you?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Sugar Glider, do you have a notable feature of the neighborhood you'd like to stick in here?
I had an idea for something.
Okay.
I was thinking that there could be a publishing company that puts out comic books called Gauntlet City Comics. You know, I was thinking that could work. I like being yes, I like being meta. If that's okay.
It's totally cool.
All right. I don't know about those fancy 3D shapes. Tell you what, let's use this weird thing that has like a corner missing from it. And we'll put the corner down here. So it's right on Main and Casada. Like so. And that is not a good color for this. Can't even find the thing where I change the color on this.
Oh,
there it is. I found it.
That's Phil.
Yeah.
Cool.
What's a good color for Gauntlet City Comics?
Oh, well, the Gauntlet has always been like a midnight blue.
Yeah. All right. That's a little too close to the other one. Let's go for something like that.
Yeah, that's
all right.
Blue to me.
I'll just...
Sweet. You can go ahead and put the text in, and now we'll go to the cowl. So reminder, where most folks work, a notable resident, like an official or an elder, a minor celebrity or entertainer, a local faction of some kind, which is a group of people, landmark or a defining place, or a gathering hangout.
So I'm going to, if this works, block out like this area here. And this is like the industrial zone street. The streets are empty at night kind of thing, busy during the day. So it's like kind of like a low class like business district. I can't think of a name.
Yeah, you're just talking about like a commercial zone, like an industrial complex kind of deal. Like
yeah,
like where it's a warehouse district.
It's yeah. So
sweet. I really like that. I'd never thought about doing a particular zone, and that makes a lot of sense. I love it.
It's called the district.
Love it. The Fist.
Hi, I got one. It's going to be at the corner of Woodrow Park and Wilson Straight Lane, and it is called Woodrow Park Parquet.
Parquet? What is that?
Yeah. Oh, is that not a thing?
It could be. I'm ignorant oftentimes.
Oh no! Well, in Toronto, we have these like really, really tiny parks that are the size of certain people's bedrooms, and they're just kind of like they're a parquet. They're smaller than a park, but you can still walk your dog in laps that are the multitude of 20s.
When I Google Parquet, I am taken to a drive-in in Lexington, Kentucky. Maybe
Oh?
I'm not spelling it right. How do you spell Parquet?
Parkette, like how you would imagine.
Yeah, that the first thing that comes up there is Parquet Drive-In in Lexington. Oh well.
Well, I don't know.
Oh, here it is under Wiktionary. It says Parquet, plural parquets, parentheses Canada, a small urban park.
Only in Canada.
Only in Canada, but
Why-
the internet has validated your knowledge and taught me something, so that's good.
Great. I didn't realize it was a thing. I'm gonna try to make it real small and turn it around.
Let's stick a name on it so we remember what it is. What is this dot?
Oh man, I didn't know it was a Canadian thing. Well, I learned something new.
I didn't know it was a thing, so you were already ahead of us.
They're all over, like Orange County, all there, but we don't call them parquets. We just call them little parks.
Little Parks? Is that its actual name?
No,
it
I mean
Lil?
it's just like
LIL with an apostrophe?
no, they're just little parks, and we're like, oh, let's go to the park, and it's a little park.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I like that it's Woodrow Park Parquet. That's really great. That tickles me. So Kyron, have you got any ideas as we circle back around to you? Just want to see if there's anything you want to stick in there. You can always do the old "what do we need?" We've got a defining place. We don't know where most folks work. We've got a gathering hangout. We don't really have any notable residents. So, any of those interest you?
Don't know. What would a notable resident be?
Some suggestions out there is like a local official of some kind, an elder of the neighborhood, perhaps a minor celebrity like a radio DJ, or somebody's in a lot of commercials for a particular, I don't know, plumbing company, or could be an entertainer, like an up and coming band of some kind, you know, that kind of stuff.
I sort of like the minor celebrity idea of like a local weatherman who is for some reason like syndicated all across the state and sometimes gets on the Weather Channel too. People just love him.
That's great.
But yeah, he lives here in the neighborhood. Let's see.
Sweet. Cool. Where do you? Oh, okay, you got it. Oh, lightning bolt for weather. That's great. And I'm wearing a lightning bolt shirt. Yay! Sweet. So everybody's gone around, and while Karen is sticking in the last little bits, let's just take a look. Does anybody have anything, local faction, landmark, anything along those lines they were really itching to throw in? Otherwise, that's good enough, and we can create more stuff as we play.
I really dug the idea of there being an ex-villain somewhere in here. So whoever came up with that, do it, please.
Stick ex-villain in there.
Well, I came up with it. I think it would be funny if it was like Agatha said, like literally this is someone who took an arrow to the knee, so maybe they don't even like Chiron that much. But I think that they're like an old Golden Age villain, and like they actually do consultant work for Gauntlet City Comics, but it, it doesn't really pay that much. They just live locally.
Oh God, and they probably occasionally like end up going to the con circuit where you are, Sugar Glider.
Yes, right? Absolutely.
Oh God, this is so good.
And let's see.
I'm really digging this.
We need some kind of name for who they used to be.
Oh, hold on a second here, my friend. I've got something for you. It's actually in the 1%er. It's a link to a bunch of public domain superhero names, and they're all terrible in Golden Age.
Oh, hooray! That's perfect. Oh, hey, I've got this book.
Some of these names are kind of gross. So I just want to warn you that, and that's also in the book that like, hey, some of these are offensive. So be advised. But like Red Rube, Phantoma.
Phantoma was a hero, I would have you know.
Okay.
On the first page it had Mr. Crime, and I feel like Mr. Crime is a pretty fascinating name.
Yeah. Daughter.
Yeah. Let's go with Oh, here's a good one. Tornado Tom. I like Tornado Tom.
Yes. Oh, public domain superheroes of yesteryear wins again. As long as you don't look at the long list of characters that start with the name Jungle. The J's are just a little crowded. I'm just saying.
So yeah. So Tornado Tom is still kicking it in the neighborhood. And I think he used to be much like Whirlwind in the comics. He used to be able to, like a speedster who would spin around real fast, but he actually can't do that anymore because he got shot in the knee. Like he can still sign autographs real fast, but that's about it. But yeah, he goes to the circuits. He gets by on what there is. I feel like this hits something else that's missing. There needs to be some kind of diner where he can be found also.
Okay, somebody else come up with a diner.
Let's put it on the corner of Caseta. I keep saying Caseta and Octavia Lane, like somewhere in there, like right at the edge.
Caseta and Octavia Lane. Can we call it Vicky's?
There you go. It's named Vicky's.
Yeah.
Cool. Do you guys want me to stick it in there? Is somebody sticking in there right now? What's going on? Because I think that is a thing that needs to happen.
If I can make a triangle, I would do it. It would be one of those like.
Create a triangle. There's a triangle shape right here.
Right there. Yeah.
I just drew it. I drew it for you. You can now do whatever you want with the triangle.
Right there. Like it's like one of those weird shaped diners and like on like a sharp corner, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's one of those near Origins actually. It's really cool. Convention Origins. Not just like the origins of the universe, but
oh my gosh, this is hard.
There you go, right there.
Bam. You don't have to stick it right in them, Agatha. You're good. You're good. It's good where you had it. It's fine. Just
right because it has a drive-through window right there. Not...
Where should we write in Tornado Tom?
Oh, just like stick in the text box and then you can stick an arrow going to it, kind of like I did with Woodrow Parquet.
Yep. But I don't know. I guess he goes to the diner, whatever the diner's name is.
Vicky's.
How's you know what?
Oh, someone's writing out Vicky's. All right, I'm not gonna write anything then.
I will write it with a Y. There we go. Vicky's Diner. Thomas. Tornado Tom, Tornado Tom Turner's Hangout.
Cool. Are there any last bits that you guys saw from the neighborhood stuff that you're like, oh man, we need one of those? Silence means we'll move on, and if somebody's not itching for it, we can always create it later. It is a-okay. All right. We now have our neighborhood defined, but we need to name it. Oh no, we have to come up with a name. Guys, have an idea for the name? And then again, Agatha, you were saying that it was going to be in 27. That's where you wanted to stick it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. So as soon as you guys name it, I will add it to the map. And
I totally thought that we were each naming like one of the one of the empty ones. So I was like Woodrow Park, but just kidding.
Oh, I see. Sorry. No, this was one neighborhood. Each one of those boxes is a different neighborhood. At least that's how I've been doing it. But I could change it. But for now, yeah, we're just making that one neighborhood. That's now I see why it was like that makes no sense. And you were nice enough not to call me on it. Cool. What do you want to guys? What do you all want to name this little neighborhood?
Wilson Heights. I don't know.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with Woodrow Park too. Also, Wilson Heights or Woodrow Park are both excellent names.
Well, if we have Woodrow, we should also have Wilson. Is the way I'm thinking about it.
Straight Lane. Yeah, you've got Woodrow and Wilson.
Oh, we do have Wilson Straight Lane. You're right. All right, I got nothing. Y'all think I was.
So I wrote Wilson State Lane because I misspelled straight. What if we called it State? Like that's the person's last name. It's named after a state. Like this is.
Okay.
State something.
State Heights.
I was gonna say, can we call it Stateside? Because that's funny to me.
State of States is terrible.
State of States is hilarious.
Let's just call it that.
It's also terrible.
All right.
Yes.
State of States. Oh my God, that is great in its badness. That is the best thing. All right. So it is Moat, and so it is done. I have now saved version 4 of the city the city map with names, which has State of States in 27. Great. We are nearly done, and with all of this not gaming talk, and then we're going to game. So you guys have your characters created. We have a few questions to answer. If you take a look at the Team Gen tab, we've got some questions here about the team. So there are a few questions here. Let me get to the right place on the dock. All right, your team's purpose. So the team's purpose is, why's your group together? I actually had that as a drop down, and it looks like it's not a drop down anymore. So I will read to you, friends, and also screen share, because some people read better than they hear. I am one of those people. Your team's purpose. These are all suggestions. If you have one, make it up. But the ones in the book are secret heroes. You guys all live locally, have secret IDs. I think you can knock that one out because someone in Skyrim. Heroes for hire. Some guild of local businesses pays you or rewards you in some way. Kind of like cops. You aren't officially on the police squad, but it's close, like authorized vigilantes, totally off the books. Or tryhards, former sidekicks, young do-getters trying to make an impression on bigger teams, like a group of minor leaguers. The atoners, ex-villains trying to improve the lives of folks you once hurt. Or retirees, which maybe you should start with retirees before you make your characters, but retirees, you're too old for this crap. Somebody has to get things done around here. And so those are the suggestions, but if someone has a different idea, please throw it out there.
My character has totally got started in this because he's a vigilante, and I think somebody else referred to themselves as a vigilante as well. Maybe it was the brick, or maybe
Yeah, I
don't know.
did. Yeah, I did. The fist.
So, what about kind of like cops, but more vigilante, like kind of not against the cops, but not, the cops don't necessarily like what we do, even though we're good.
That makes sense. I like that. I mean, I'm a detective after all, so we basically are like cops.
Yeah.
Sweet. So you're not authorized, but maybe the cops look the other way type deal. A little Batman-y there, right?
Well,
I feel like there might be a little bit antagonistic against us. Not totally, but
Maybe there's like one person on the force kind of deal that understands you guys are like they're not necessarily commissioner, but the Commissioner Gordon type of the person who deals with Batman. I think most of Gotham PD hates you, but one or two might have a vigilante signal they throw up in the sky or something like that. Is that what you're thinking, or did you have?
Yeah, maybe not a vigilante signal, but yeah. I would say it seems to me that Chiron would be the contact person, both being the leader and also because she's a PI. So
okay, sounds good. All right, so she's the contact and kind of the leader. So Chiron calls the shots. Look at you guys already answering one of the questions. Who is it that brought the group generally together? It's the person who networked and helped you guys all discover each other.
I mean, that definitely has to be Sugar Glider, right?
Yeah, it's probably Sugar Glider.
Yeah.
Aww. The heart.
You guys want to join my team? I don't really have a team yet, but if you join, then I've got a team. Who causes the most trouble?
Probably the cow.
no, not the cow. Never the cow.
Clearly
Okay.
the cow.
The cow doesn't think that they cause the most trouble. Do you know each other's secret IDs? I know the answer for Chiron, but the rest of you guys know each other's secret IDs? Or just your cape names?
I think everybody knows who Sugar Glider is, but he insists on being called Sugar Glider when he's got the costume on.
Costume!
Yeah, because he lives in the apartment above the cow. Chiron's a private eye. There's not a lot of point in even.
Yeah, I feel like for Sasha, it's not really a secret with the team either. Also, like I feel like Sasha's friends also know. I don't know. So it's like an open secret kind of thing. Not as much as Karen, but
Who can everyone rely on when the chips are down?
That is probably also Sugar Glider.
Yeah, Super Heart kind of does that. Sweet. Where do you guys meet up at night before patrolling? I'm thinking it's Hard Hold. Anybody have any other answer?
Definitely the hard hold. If it's a particularly rough night, we meet up there after too.
Who has a beer with whom after a successful mission? Perfectly leading into that. Thank you, Patrick.
The cowl has a beer with anybody
Nice.
before and after the mission.
Does Sugar Glider drink?
Sugar Glider is kind of a lightweight, so not often. I will say I am pretty sure the Fist and Chiron go out drinking because that strikes me as, and I believe the cow will have a beer with anybody, but I
Can you hear
suspect
me?
that those two.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, because I said that the cowl has beer with anybody before and after the mission.
right, yeah, but yeah. Jason said that. Yes,
Yeah,
that, but also individually.
Okay.
I'm into being bad idea drinking buddies with the Fist.
Sweet. So lots of drinking. That's good.
Do you get super drunk and then I have to be the person to like haul you home, or is it
What? No, I am a professional. I was an Olympic athlete, thank you very much, and I can handle myself just fine.
So I think the answer is yes. Okay. How do you get your missions? I think that's likely going to be our PI, right?
Yeah.
Sweet. You guys have finished the team's formation. Good job. Last bit, and then you guys all get a break as a reward. Get a break. what's the name of your rival team? Now, your rivals could be villains, they could be other heroes, or they could just be a thorn in your side. Now, we've got some suggested names, but you guys can come up with a different. Hazard Patrol, Blitz Battalion, the Storm Alliance, Quantum Rebels, the Whisper Syndicate, or Future Legion.
They're all so good.
Thank you.
I kind of like the idea of and people could shoot this down of Quantum. Oh, is it Quantum Rebels?
Quantum Rebels?
Quantum Rebels being the official Gauntlet City Comics sanctioned super team.
Nice, like they're corporate stooges that get all the unfair backing that we don't.
Yep. But other people can say no if you don't want to do that. If you want to take it darker, then
No, that's fine. Sounds good.
Cool too.
I would like it to be a little darker. When we played last time, we had super rivals. When I played last time, we had super rivals, and I would like to go elsewhere. But I'm not.
Okay.
But I'm not. I mean, if everybody else wants to do that, that's totally cool too.
Nope, I'm not set on it. I'm happy to go elsewhere. How about if
Quantum. Oh, go ahead.
no, I mean, if you want to go villains, let's make them villains.
Yeah, they could just be villains.
I still like
so
Quantum
keep saying
Rebels.
Quantum Rebels, all right, but these guys are super villains of some kind.
What if they're called the Quantum Syndicate? I just thought that was funny.
No, that's good. Kind of has an intergang sounding thing.
It does. That's a comic book thing. Sweet. So, why are you guys rivals with the Quantum Syndicate?
I don't know. Quantum Syndicate? Do we think they're like something weird out of time, or are they like super sciencey?
I think
So
both
the
of those
Cowls, I was gonna say the Cowl's main concern are the people like that go like his patrons, the homeless and the rebels and that kind of stuff. So maybe the Quantum Syndicate are like some sort of like maybe they do experiments on homeless people who nobody will ever notice are missing or prostitutes who nobody really cares about.
They're time travelers who kidnap people. Like
And they
Yeah.
they prey on the weak and
Oh,
Yeah.
that's dark.
I like it.
So I know that we haven't done like lines or veils or like those kind of things. But can I like oh no.
Richard Rogers. Richard Rogers has been replaced by a clone.
Oh.
Oh dear.
Oh. Oh
You-
no.
Okay.
I just gotta notice.
Yeah, it's him saying he froze.
Oh,
And
I
then-
see.
Yeah. So he probably has to restart Chrome or something.
Oof.
Someone. Stop writing. It's driving me nuts.
Oh. I guess. All right,
Well,
I
we were
guess.
there.
Well,
the-
oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say the questions are there. We could.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I did want to say, like, when he comes back, I wanted to put like, I want an X card, like, dead prostitutes. Not really into that
Okay.
Fair enough.
motif.
I kind of like the idea that the Quantum Syndicate is just straight up stealing people and we don't know what's happening to them right now. And that they are the people that are the slip through the cracks. But if that works within that realm for you,
Yeah, I wasn't trying to suggest that they were like murdered. It just that they were just preying on the weak and helpless. Not
Cool.
What are your thoughts there, Agatha?
Yep, I'm cool with that as long as we stay away from like dead lady in fridge. I'm
Cool.
or
Just-
hashtag my dead
Okay.
wife. Then I'm
Spread
like,
the super villainy around.
yeah,
yeah.
equal opportunity villainy.
Cool.
So not so much prostitutes, but because that was the word that I used, but just like picking on female victims like that in general. Is that what
Yeah,
you mean?
I feel like it's fine if it's like what Patrick said, like if there's like a spread, so then one of them could be a woman, the other one could be a man, or like going across the gender spectrums of
Yeah.
victims.
But yeah, the connection is like people without a lot of power or connections, or they don't have a lot of family, or people that would miss them, or they're homeless, or stuff like that.
Yeah, or yeah, I understood what you were saying, Alejandro, in terms of like the kind of people that might frequent your bar could include prostitutes, but I have a really visceral reaction to like that specific motif because it's so prevalent, right? Like in media, and I kind of want to stay away from that specific kind of idea, but.
Okay.
Women can also be victims in this, but just hashtag not just women.
Yeah.
Victim-y victims.
Well, I mean, prostitutes can connotates specifically women usually. It usually refers specifically to women, but it doesn't have to be. It can be anything. In my list, I put homeless, addicts, prostitutes, and weirdos. So I was trying to just cover like what most people refer to as lowlifes or whatever.
You will. Some non-specificity can be your friend, but it's. I think we all get where it's going, and that's fine. I wrote it as they are kidnapping local residents they think won't be missed, and I think that about sums it up. We could keep going with the questions.
Yeah, who has a relationship with some? Who has a relationship of some kind with one of the rivals?
I think that could be a couple things, like either knowing, oh hey, he's back.
Rick!
Hey,
Hi guys, I had and took my own power break. Sorry you guys didn't get one.
mean.
We're almost done.
Oh.
Did he freeze again?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's a funny face.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's that time.
All right, guys, we can do this. Who's got a relationship with the rivals?
I could be in a relationship with one of the rivals.
Ooh, so like in a relationship, emotional, romantic sort of thing?
Yeah, I think so. I think I'm dating. Oh, Rich. Oh, you're back. You froze again.
Hey, he's back.
Okay. Am I hearable now?
Yes.
Okay, good. Stupid internet.
Aw.
Indeed.
Just be gentle with your computer.
So, quick rundown of what you missed. The Quantum Syndicate are time-traveling supervillains who are kidnapping local residents that they think won't be missed. Agatha wanted to throw an X card over the idea that all the victims are female or just prostitutes. We want to have a wide thing, but no focus on violence against women.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Thank you. And I should have said this at the top. I did make myself a note. We do have the X card on the table. That's one of our safety tools. I know you guys are all skilled with it, but just want to make sure that that's out there for your use. Thank you, Agatha, for giving us an example of it in play.
You're welcome. And thanks for summarizing it so succinctly, Jason.
Yeah, good job, Jason. It's like I
then-
wasn't even gone. I should go away for 5 to 10 minutes and come back every once. No.
And then we
here.
went to who has a relationship of some kind with one of the rivals, and I offered Sasha. Sasha could be dating someone from the
That you know is a time traveling kidnapper?
he. I don't know if he knows. Let's say.
Um,
Oh, go ahead.
you could also have been dating one of the people that went missing.
That's possible, but the question is dating. I kind of like the idea of dating. I mean, you're dating one of the people who went missing, so that just, it adds another level to it, but it's still the same of like, say the people are missing, but dating one of the quantum syndicate would, I think it adds a whole another nuanced level of like, maybe there's something not terrible about them.
Yeah, or
dating.
maybe Sasha just makes bad life choices. That's also a thing.
I don't know. Would we be okay with that though? I mean,
Do you know?
because what they do is pretty heinous.
No, what I mean is like Sasha could be dating someone who's already like a bad news person, but then like I think at least at the beginning of this game, Sasha does not know that they are a part of the Quantum Syndicate. But what I mean is like, because Rich was saying, maybe like the Quantum Syndicate isn't all bad if Sasha's dating them, but it could also mean that Sasha just doesn't make good life choices in general.
Yeah, I'm interested in exploring that in play and trying to understand that if you're okay with it.
I'm cool with it.
Cool. I was just looking for names in the public domain thing. There is a character by the name of Shifty. Shiftee. Jimmy Wherever.
I can't with these. I cannot have Sasha date someone called Shifty. Shiftee.
But you could date Jimmy Wherever. I'm pretty sure Jimmy Wherever is a Quantum Syndicate person.
But that's such a terrible name.
Okay, then Jimmy Wherever's the leader. Are we good with that?
Yeah.
All right, Jimmy Wherever.
Can the person that that Sasha is dating be called like a really normal name, like
Sue Johnson.
Joey? I don't know.
Sure.
Oh,
Yeah,
I feel like Rich froze again.
because he's saying dang it.
Oh.
Okay, so there's Jimmy Wherever. I guess I don't want another J name. I'll come up with something.
Kevin.
What if they have? What the next one? What do the rivals have that we don't? What if they have like a lot of high tech gadgetry?
I think that makes sense.
Yep.
I mean, they got time traveling nonsense. They have some sort of out of time weapons.
Mm-hmm. I'll write it in.
Okay.
Because they're in the future, it says, what weakness of theirs do you take advantage of? Because they're coming from the future, they could know our moves ahead of time. So how can we use that?
That's a weakness of ours, not theirs.
Right.
Yeah.
But if we know that, how can we use that against them? I don't know. That's just an idea.
Sorry, I got distracted coming up with the name of the person I'm dating. And I've decided it will not be Kevin, but instead it will be Aisha Adams. Because accidental alliteration is
choice.
a thing.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe there's something that presages when they're coming in, something that happens before they poured in to go after someone.
Freak weather anomalies.
We have Larry Sprinkle. It all ties together.
Sure.
That's
I'm
right.
cool with like weather anomalies. I feel like that's very cool. I'm into it.
What if Chiron has a relationship with Larry Sprinkle, and like he calls her up and says, you know, there's this weird electrical storm happening over the district right now, FYI. And Chiron's like, thanks.
I can see that. Like he, you know, his career is so boosted because he gets to do these weird weather stories in front of like upside down purple tornadoes or whatever.
Yeah.
He always gives us a couple when he's on the way over because he doesn't want to like go into it without backup.
Oh my god.
Down purple tornadoes. Yes. Okay, so apparently now that we finished our rivals, we can go on a break. So I would like to go on my break.
Sames.
I'll see y'all.
Let's let him know. I'm gonna text him.
Sure.
The Bye Bye Man movie now. Do you want to watch that? But I'm watching it. Well, how much have you watched of it? I don't know. Did you just start it, or? I didn't just start it, but I'm probably on the earlier side.